Built for greatness. You might as well just say this, I'm built for greatness. We're all built for greatness. Greatness is being ourselves, our real self, our authentic self. Look around the room and see who's with you, wherever you are on the planet. Look around whoever you're with at this moment. Some of you are having watch parties. Just look at each other with the healing eye. In other words, when you look at somebody, you're looking for beauty. You're looking to give a blessing. Look at each other with blessing eyes. And notice that as you are projecting blessings upon each other, you're getting the first dose. As you are sharing and shining, your blessing is coming through you, so you're getting the first dose. Whatever it is that you give, you're giving it to yourself first. So if you give everyone a piece of your mind, you're going to have that mind left. So basically, you give large doses of your heart of love. As we welcome ourselves, as you've heard the reading for today, the theme of the month is invisible, indivisible, and invincible. And you've heard Geraldine read that so powerfully, the absolute truth that most of us is invisible. We are invisible. The life that we really are, our real self, our authentic self, our super soul self, as the reading indicated, is invisible to the sensorium, and it lacks nothing. That you've arrived here on the planet with the awareness, the ever-growing awareness that you're lacking nothing. Now, as you begin through spiritual practice of prayer and meditation to catch that insight and that vibration, that frequency, you won't fall prey to begging God for anything. You will pray to release your inner splendor. You'll pray to release your giftedness. You'll pray to release and expand your capacity for more energy to come through you, because most of you is invisible. You are not your body. You are not your possessions. You are not the things that you think you own temporarily. You are an invisible to the sensorium presence of God personified as you, every being here. It went on to talk about you are indivisible. You're undivided from the whole. All of the presence and the power and the love is right where you are. And though your mind may have been hijacked by religiosity, that would have you believing that God is somewhere other than where you are, while at the same time saying it's omnipresent. God's way up there, but omnipresent. God's way up there, but omnipresent. That could create some kind of schizophrenia in individuals, some kind of craziness. You can't have God way up there, only way up there, and omnipresent. God is omnipresent. God is everywhere present in God's fullness, which means right where you are, right there in your underwear is God. Right there. Okay, there's two people not wearing underwear. Now, but you're still wearing clothes. So right where you are is the power and the presence and the love of God. I got some laughter out of you, which means you for temporarily went out of time and space for when you laugh and come into that particular space of the paradox of laughing at something. You're out of time and space, which makes you more receptive to insight and revelation, because at that particular moment, your surface mind is not in control. So right where you are is the power and the presence and the love of God. And of course, you are invincible. Now, as the Bhagavad Gita reminds us, never were you born and never shall you die. You'll continue to unfold, to reflect and reveal the glory of the living presence. And so many people are afraid of dying. We don't want to be afraid of death because it does not exist. You will continue to grow, develop, and unfold over and over and over again, becoming more and more yourself. You want to be afraid of not living. You want to be afraid of not giving your gift before you leave the planet. That's the only thing that you want to be afraid of. So you're not afraid of dying. You are afraid of not sharing your giftedness, so that you wake up on a regular basis with an inner compulsion, desire, an urgency to not only discover who and what you really are, but to give of this giftedness that is within your being. There is so much within you. But if your mind has been hijacked by lack and limitation, if your mind has been hijacked and you're carrying the wounds of past incarnations, you're carrying the wounds of how you've been imprinted by the world of appearances, then that psychologically has created a personality of lack and limitation, fear, doubt, and worry. But through your inner work, you transcend, or you transmute, and then you transcend it, and you become free. As I was saying in the earlier way of meditation service, there used to be a thought that this kind of awakening would take lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. We know now that that is not so. That with the imprint of Yeshua ben Joseph, the imprint of Gautama the Buddha, imprint of Zoroaster, Moses, the imprint of individuals who awakened in this dimension, imprinted onto the noosphere of the planet, and with the awareness that the planet Earth is awakening and is vibrating higher than ever before, and that the density of human thought, even though there's polarization and still hate and fear, doubt, worry, racism, etc., there is a higher frequency on the planet than ever before. So you don't have to wait to wake up in another lifetime somewhere in the future. With dedication and sincerity and spiritual practice and intentionality, you can moment by moment wake up to your glorious nature and be free in this incarnation, in this lifetime. I want you to say with me right now, I intend to wake up more and more and more in this lifetime. I'm not waiting for the next lifetime. I'm waking up in this lifetime. I'm feeling the frequency of all awakened beings, allowing that to pull me into a greater expression of my own divinity. And it's happening right now. Right now. Right now. Somebody scream about that. And so as we awaken and we realize that we are here as gift givers, that we did not come to the planet trying to get anything from the world. Not at all. We have come to share. We have come to circulate. We have come to give our gifts. Oh, I need you to say, I've come to give my gifts. Now, the moment you wake up to that frequency, you enter into the right side of the law, because you're saying in substance, I have everything I need. All of my legitimate needs are met. I've come to share. And when that becomes your predominant feeling tone and your predominant thought, then the universal presence via universal law matches that perception, and out of nothing, you have more and more and more to give. Circumstances change. Conditions change. Situations change because they are malleable. They are condensed thoughts, beliefs, perceptions that have become experienced. But the moment you come on the right side of the law by shifting your perspective, then all that was intractable, all that was condensed and so hard, and how am I going to change it? I can never change it. I came from a family of individuals that were poor, family of individuals that were sick, and my DNA and, my heredity, all that nonsense that used to be law, you begin to transcend that. And you begin from your new vantage point of being a spiritual being, invisible, indivisible, invincible. From that dynamic, the law begins to move through you and circumstances change. You'll call it a miracle. You'll call it a condition suddenly shifting. But in reality, the door has always been open, waiting for you to see rightly, waiting for you to feel rightly, and to stop arguing for your limitations. So that whenever an opportunity comes up for you to step out and to be great, according to your uniqueness, you're not going to argue for your limitations and say, yeah, but I've never done it before. Yeah, I can't do it. Yeah, you don't understand my past. Yeah, you don't understand what's happened to me. No, we don't want to understand that. We know that's a wound. We know that's a perception. What we want you to understand is that there's a part of you that's never been hurt. And when you begin to identify with that, I'm not saying that it's easy. I'm saying that it's work. When you begin to identify with that, then your life trajectory changes. And lo and behold, out of no thing at all, something begins to operate in your life. And you suddenly or incrementally begin to reflect and to reveal the cosmos in a way that has never, ever happened before. And then you discover, Oh my God, you have gifts to give. And your greatest gifts, one of your greatest gifts is to come to an understanding of the scriptural reference, Reverend Joanne, that says, in substance, be not conformed to this world, but to be transformed by the renewing of your mind. In other words, creativity over conformity. You have a gift to give. Creativity over conformity. In your little self, you want to conform to the world. You want to conform to patterns that people had put you in. Familial patterns, governmental patterns, religiosity patterns. Creativity over conformity. And you begin to, this is the gift you're giving to the world. You're giving, which you're stepping into your everyday life. Not conforming to circumstances, but saying in substance, there's something within me that wants to be born anew every single day. And your greatest gift, beyond conformity, but anchoring yourself in creativity, is that you get to introduce the new you every year. Every single year, there's a new you being introduced, because you're always on the verge of a greater discovery of who and what you really are. You're not arguing for, this is how I've always been, this is how my parents were, this is how my family was, this is how this runs in my family. Well, let it run away. Listen to what I'm trying to tell you here. Your greatest gift is for you to continue to introduce the new you to someone else. Every single year, every single month, if you can. In other words, you begin to see yourself as your potential self. And you begin to vibrate at that. And then you walk in the feeling tone. It's called a pre-tense. Pre-tense. Pre-tendency. You're feeling the vibration of it. And then how's how you introduce yourself. Whoa, okay. And then if individuals can't see the new you, that's because of their limited perception. They're still seeing the past you. They're still reacting to the past you. They're still reacting to what you did last year, 2 years ago, 10 years ago. That's on them. That's not on you. So your greatest gift is to constantly renew yourself and then walk into the world introducing the new you, holding fast to that, and to become, until that new you becomes so strong in you, it becomes the baseline and the foundation for the leap-off point into the next great expression of who you are. So one, your greatest gift is creativity over conformity. Let me introduce you to my friend. Let me introduce you to my new you. And you hold fast to that. And then your next gift that comes out of, this is coming out of course, we know that you're having a prayer life, a meditation life, a devotional, moments in which you're becoming still and quiet and studying truth principles. And so you slowly start to see, there's a part of you. Oh, it starts off small. It starts off like a still, small voice, but eventually becomes the only voice. You see, it starts off still and small because there's so much noise. And there's so much past stuff. There's so much way that you've identified yourself. There's a lot of noise, but there's a still small voice saying, I got you. There's a still small voice saying, you're all right. There's a still small voice saying, you're loved and supported and appreciated. It's still and small, but you continue doing your inner work, and then pretty soon you're able to hear the still small voice more and more and more. And pretty soon the other voices aren't as loud. You hear them, but you're not paying attention to them. They're not identifying who you are as your identity. But the still small voice becomes the voice of God. Howard Thurman said, the voice of the genuine within you, calling your name, you see. And then as that begins to happen, your gift to the world is that you become unbotherable. In other words, you're able to walk in the world, and what used to bother you doesn't bother you anymore. You may not like it, but it doesn't bother you anymore, and your less and less reaction to what previously bothered you diminishes the energy of what bothered you, and you become a new creature in Christ. You become a new creature in the Buddha field. You become a new creature in the power and the presence and the love of God because of your unbotherability. The unbotherability is because you're more and more identified with the invisible, indivisible, invincible part of you through spiritual practice and holy sacred devotions by which you get to hear the still small voice more and more and more and more, and less you're hearing the energy of the old personality and all of its mistakes, so-called, all of the ways that it has been hurt in the world. You're not hearing that as much. You're hearing, is it not written, ye are gods? You're hearing something else. And you realize that if you were to stop every single day for a period of time and just write down some truths about you, my life is hid with Christ in God. All of my needs are met. I always win. Everything is always working together for my good. I am duly supported and loved. You write that down every single day for a period of time. Research in epigenetics has shown that when you do that, write it down, read it out loud, and look at it, your DNA structure changes. You may have thought it was intractable. Well, I have hereditary patterns from my ancestors. You do the inner work, and now research in the field of epigenetics shows that your DNA changes based on you actually going in and doing the work and telling yourself the truth. Truth every single day. Now, of course, it's going to bump up against the egoic perception of who you used to be. But as you keep on working, that DNA begins to change and you become a new individual in the great universal law of the response of who you are. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Pick it up. So you have these two great gifts. You have the gift of your daily introduction of who you are. You have the gift, and this is not something you can like force. It's just something you practice until you realize, oh, there's unbotherability. Whew, I don't like it. Why doesn't it bother me anymore? Because you're more identified with the largesse of your being, and your reaction diminishes the energy of what bothered you, because previously what you resist persists. Now, since there's no resistance, it can't persist, it diminishes. You begin to change your own life. You begin to change your own life. You are becoming more you. You are becoming more you. And then the gift of your awareness of this simple truth, that every issue that you have, every problem, is not solved by you figuring it out or manipulating. Every issue is solved by you becoming a greater expression of you where there is no problem. Think about that. When the aphid runs out of food, it grows wings. Caterpillar becomes a gut butterfly. You become more you. As you become more yourself, then the problems at the lower vibration, they don't exist at the more expanded vibration. So what happens is, in our figuring out self, we keep trying to solve our problems, forgetting that there's an evolutionary process within us that we're becoming more ourselves, and at the more expanded level, that problem doesn't exist. As I said earlier today in the way of meditation service, and have said frequently throughout the 38 years here at Agape, that the presence of God is not a problem solver, because if God was a problem solver, then a problem would be real to God. In the consciousness of God, the problem dissolves because it doesn't exist at the higher level. So when you're praying, you're not praying, God, please solve this problem. You're praying, please, I want to be lifted into the awareness where this does not exist. And then there's a great transformation in my soul. I become more me. The greatest gift you can give is to be yourself. The greatest gift you can give is to discover and activate yourself. And I know it's hard because we've been trained to be human doings rather than human beings. So we have to manipulate, we have to force, we have to figure out, we have to do. Don't be a doobie. Do be a BB. A Bernard Beckwith. I'm crazy. Don't worry about this guy. He's a little nuts sometimes. But listen, don't be a doobie. Be yourself. Come with me for a moment. I just mean just take a breath with me for a moment. Release. And I want you to hear this. Slow down. I'm going to speak directly to you. Your primary being, is invisible to the sensorium. You can't see it. You can't see it with the eyes. You can't hear, you can't taste, you can't touch, you can't smell it. But it is real. It's what you really are. Undivided from the whole. Invincible. Imagine yourself walking through the world knowing that you'll never die, but you have eternity to express your gifts. Next gift is this. As you become more adept into this self-discovery, you have the gift of luminous silence, sacred gratitude, and visionary conversation. That's what begins to change in your life. And then you say to yourself, my silence, my luminous conversation, my gratitude has to outweigh my worry and my complaining. The way you do that is you tell yourself, whenever you're into worry and complaining, you're polluting the environment. No one wants litter. No one wants to pollute the environment. So you just tell yourself, every time you do that, you're polluting the environment. You come back to being quiet. Luminous silence. This is a gift. Luminous silence. Gratitude. Thanksgiving. Visionary conversation. No noise, no pollution. That has to outweigh the noise and the pollution. Because it's going to, we have human tendencies. It's going to pop up. But as long as your silence and your gratitude and your visionary conversation is more than the pollution, the trajectory of your life will change. Are you following this? This is law. So that the gift you're giving is you're constantly introducing the new you through your spiritual practice. The gift you're giving is your unbotherability because you're not reacting, which keeps creating the energy you don't like. And the gift you're giving is silence, gratitude, visionary conversation. Now, you're sharing a shining gift. And you're not relegating your gift giving to Hanukkah or Christmas or Kwanzaa, which are beautiful. It's magnificent when high tide rolls in. And everybody's into a wonderful space of forgiveness and celebration and generosity and gift giving. It's beautiful. But here at Agape, we want this to be our way of life. Constantly. So that we're constantly being born into the next great expression of ourself. So that you're not holding on to that which you used to be. Even if people want to relegate you to that. Remember, that's their limited perception. You are holding on to the great I am presence. I'll always remember standing in front of a spiritual community one time, and there was a particular client that I had as a practitioner, and he was court assigned to come see me. He was incarcerated for a period of time because he had burnt down his girlfriend's house with her in it. She survived, but he went to jail. And he was so angry at what she supposedly had done, and Anyway, he would come to see me as a practitioner, and when he would begin to talk about all the stuff going on in his life, he would get so red, so angry, so red. And he was a black man. I mean, it was like interesting to watch this transformation. Anyway, over a period of time, he had more and more insights into his true nature and his true being. He went back to school, ultimately became a teacher, and I remember one year he became Teacher of the Year in Los Angeles County. And I remember him standing in front of the community one day, just talking to people. I remember these ladies were talking about him. They said, this guy's weird. Isn't he kind of weird, you know? And I thought to myself, they have no idea the road this man has traveled to be here at this spiritual community, teaching, Teacher of the Year. They were judging by certain circumstances. But they had no idea his journey. For him to be this individual is contributing to society at a very high level. We don't want to be those people. Just as individuals, all of us are seeking to reintroduce every single year our new insights and our new revelations. We want to also be the people that when we see other people, we say, this individual may have changed. They may have grown. They may have unfolded. We want to be the individuals, as you did earlier today in service, as you looked at each other with blessing eyes, not looking for the negative. Oh, that shirt doesn't match. We should get those shoes. No. Blessing eyes. Beautiful. Magnificent. Wonderful. I don't know why this just came to my mind. I can remember, I see Deborah Gale here today, and we saw a picture of Nirvana earlier. Nirvana could dress. Nirvana, he'd wear the loudest clothes ever. The shoes would match everything. He was a bad, and it was, that's the way it was. So one day, we went to Senegal, and everybody dressed like that. It was like, this is where this boy's from. His DNA got to be from Senegal because the way he dressed was exactly like that. So I remember we come back to the United States. It was like, don't be judging Nirvana. Nirvana's from Senegal. Okay. He's got his DNA coded, washed with blessing eyes. He knows what he's doing. He's tapping into his DNA. That just popped into my awareness. I hadn't planned to say that, but anyway. We don't want to judge anybody. We want to appreciate everybody. Take a breath, please. Release. Another breath. Breathe. Breath. Sustain at the apex. Take a little bit more air in. Put a smile on your face. Let those tonic chemicals flow through the body temple. Release. Now take just a moment and begin to be pulled by a vision of yourself, the next great impulsion of your spiritual identity. What wants to emerge as you? Where are you growing? And this is not dependent upon anyone else, not dependent on your parents, whether they're here or whether they're on the other side, not dependent upon friends, family, associates. You. What inside of you wants to come forward? What energetic gift wants to come forward? It's an expression of the Christ, the hope of glory in you. The beauty, the love, the intelligence, the peace, the harmony, the joy, the power, the confidence. What wants to come forward? Now, get a feeling of it. Tend it. Have a tendency in it. Feel it now. Feel it now. Introduce yourself to it. Introduce yourself to it. Think of one power statement that represents the new you. It can be, there's so much beauty in me. It can be, oh, there's so much prosperity flowing through me. It can be, there's so much dynamic wholeness and well-being flowing through me. There's so much confidence flowing through me. Whatever it is that's trying to emerge right now, just create a power statement in your own mind. And now be committed to writing that statement down and write it down a few times and then read it at least 3 times a day. Your DNA will change. You will become a new you. You're participating in your own unfolding. And then you will walk in the world introducing yourself. I'm not talking about, hi, I'm Michael, I'm blah, 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 blah. I'm talking about the vibration will be you. Some will see it. Others' perception may be limited based on past. But you won't be bothered by that. You'll just keep on being you. And then the energy around the new you will coagulate into love and support, open doors, possibilities, potential being activated, because you'll be on the right side of the law. Got it? Okay, turn within now. Feel the power statement within you. And I'll say, just add one thing, that when this power statement emerges, for the next couple of days, don't tell anybody what it is. I mean, later on you can share with your intimate friends, your practitioner, or whatever, but just hold it within you. Write it and read it. Write it and read it. Say it out loud. And just let it incubate within you. Your gift, the greatest gift, is you becoming more you. Your greatest gift is that as you become more you, you'll start to be unbothered. Your greatest gift as you do the inner work is that there'll be a strong, luminous silence, gratitude, visionary conversation, less and less pollution. Let's stay inward for a moment as we feel and sense our way into the revelation of so much thanksgiving and so much gratitude. Oh my God. Say, oh my God. I know they've shortened it to OMG, but not us. We're going to old school. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Oh my love. Oh my joy. Oh my life. Oh my light of lights. Oh my God. Oh, we're in wonder and we're in awe. Oh my God. And this consciousness of gratitude and thanksgiving and dynamic appreciation, we begin to see like we have never seen before. We begin to recognize a presence that's never an absence. Everywhere. Someone say everywhere. 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 We begin to recognize this presence everywhere. That's why it's called the presence. It's not called the absence. It's called the presence. This presence that is never an absence is our very life and being. Inseparable, invincible, undeniable life. It is from this awareness of my oneness with God that I have the privilege and the honor to speak the word for each and every being here today, each and every being tuning in from all around the globe, knowing that where they are, God is. And that the fullness of the living one is taking over our life. That every organ, action, function of our body temple is made every whit whole, is full of the divine light and the luminosity of the allness of the presence. And that anything whatsoever that would hinder, delay, obstruct, or deny the fullness of life from moving through and as us is dissolved into the no-thingness from which it has come never to exist again. And we are free beings. Something wonderful is happening. Say it. Say it. Say it. Shout it. Shout it. Shout it. Something wonderful is happening. Oh, the proverbial but the temporary Jericho walls are falling. New life is emerging through us, individually and as a spiritual community. New life is emerging. And our body temples, our mental bodies, our emotional bodies, our subtle bodies are full to overflowing with luminosity, light and brilliance. Oh, I see it. I feel it. I announce it. I call it forth as the activity of our individual and collective awareness right here and right now. Will I be made whole? Will I be made whole? Will you accept your wholeness? Will you accept your brilliance, your magnificence? Oh, that supernal confidence moving through you. Will you? Will you? Will you? Are you willing? Into the consciousness of willingness, I call forth divine wholeness. It's already there. It's intrinsic. I call forth wellness. It's already there. It's intrinsic. We shall not identify ourselves with labels of pathology. There may be aches and pains of the body. There may be intensity, may be all kinds of things, but we will not label it and identify with the label. We identify with, my body is healing. My mind is healing. My emotional body is healing. The only label I have is I am what thou art, and thou art what I am. Everything else is a subtle illusion, but cannot stick to me. I'm free. Oh, I give thanks for this. I feel it in my bones. I'm telling you right here and right now. Something wonderful is happening. Something wonderful is happening. Something wonderful is happening. I feel it. Say, I feel it. Say, I feel it. I feel it. Help them feel it. Jason Powell, give him a little feeling tone.
As around the sun, the earth knows she's revolving, and the rosebud knows to bloom in early May. Just as hate no love's the cure, you can rest your mind assured that God is loving you always. As now can't reveal the mysteries of tomorrow, but in passing will grow old every day. Just as kindness knows no shame, no, through all your joy and pain, God is loving you all until the rainbow burns the stars out in the sky, until the ocean covers every mountain high, until the trees and seas just up and fly away, until we dream of life and life becomes a dream.
Everyone say always and forever. Our eyes closed, we feel into the fabric of our prayer life as a community.